With trial opening, Tory Lanez's lawyer says Kylie Jenner's house party is key to defense in Mgdesyan Stallion shooting. Opening statements are scheduled Monday in Los Angeles in the criminal trial of rapper Daystar Tory Lanez Peterson, who is accused of shooting rapper Mgdesyan Stallion Pete. Lanez was arrested during a traffic stop on July 12, 2020, after reports of gunfire drew police to the Hollywood Hills area about 4:30 a.m. Mgdesyan was taken to a hospital for what police described at the time as a foot injury. She and Lanez were in a car with her now ex-friend Kelsey Harris, leaving a party at Kylie Jenner's home, when Mgdesyan fled the vehicle and Lanez allegedly fired a gun at her, striking both feet. Lanez's lead lawyer, Mgdesyan, declined to detail his case to Law&Crime but said, "I can tell you this, my client is not the shooter." He said Lanez has spent a long time waiting for his side of the story to be said. "Obviously, our goal is to tell the jury the truth of what happened at Kylie's house," Mgdesyan said. "Because what happened in the altercation is a continuation of what happened at Kylie's." Prosecutors appear to be ready to challenge any assertion from Mgdesyan that the other person in the car with Lanez and Mgdesyan, Kelsey Harris, fired the shots, telling Los Angeles County Superior Court Judge David Hereford they plan to show jurors a comment Lanez made on Instagram responding to a fan who accused Harris of shooting Mgdesyan. Harris is described in various media reports as Mgdesyan's now former friend from her hometown of Houston, Texas, and Mgdesyan has accused her of wrongly defending Lanez. Now 30, Lanez initially faced a firearm possession charge after his arrest in July 2020. But the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office later announced charges of assault with semi-automatic firearm, personal use of a firearm, and intentional discharge of a firearm. Prosecutors last week added a third charge of negligent discharge of a firearm, which is essentially an alternative to assault if jurors not convict on that count because assault requires intent while the new charge does not. Lanez faces a maximum sentence of 22 years and 8 months if convicted of the most serious charges. He is a Canadian citizen, so he also could be deported from the United States. A DA's office press release in October 2020 said, Lanez and the 24-year-old victim got into an argument while riding in an SUV in the Hollywood Hills. The victim exited the vehicle and Peterson, Lanez, is accused of shooting several times at her feet and wounding her. Prosecutors said. The victim is widely known to be Mgdesyan, now 27 and a two-time Grammy winner. The case has received broad attention, with NPR saying it has led to 2 years of back and forth and division in the hip-hop world. Drake and 21 Savage's new album Her Loss is believed to include a reference to it, with Drake rapping on Circo Loco, "This bitch lie 'bout getting shots, but she's still a stallion." Mgdesyan is represented by Alex Spiro, a prominent trial lawyer with Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan, LLP in New York, who also has represented Elon Musk. Spiro criticized Drake's lyric in a statement released to various media outlets. Despite the irrefutable evidence that Mgdesyan was a victim of gun violence, the ignorant continue to support her attacker, Spiro said. Spiro said in another statement in April, "The self-serving noise in this case will not change the facts or prevent this case from proceeding." Mgdesyan also appeared to respond to Drake on Twitter, writing, "Since when TF is it cool to joke about women getting shot? Ready to boycott bout shoes and clothes but dogpile on a black woman when she say one of you all homeboys abused her." Mgdesyan discussed the shooting in a televised interview in April, telling CBS News' Gayle King she initially told police she'd stepped on glass amid surging adrenaline and because of a deep fear of police, particularly in the months following the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis. "I was like, oh, my God. We all about to die. The police are definitely very much shoot first, ask questions after," Mgdesyan said. She said Lanez had apologized and said, "Please don't tell nobody. I'll give y'all $1 million if you all don't say nothing. I didn't want them to kill any of us, or shoot any of us, so I just said, I stepped on glass," Mgdesyan said. "I was just trying to protect all of us, because I didn't want them to kill. Like, even though this person just did this to me, my first reaction still was to try to save us." Video of the police response, obtained by TMZ, shows Meghan in a swimsuit, limping with her hands up. Meghan told King she continued telling police she'd only stepped on glass as they interviewed her at the hospital, until a doctor told her she had bullets fragments in both feet. Lanez has said the two had a sexual relationship and Meghan is lying about what happened, but she denied that to King. Lanez has also said he was sleeping with Harris, implying that competition between the women led to the shooting. Meghan is expected to take the stand on Tuesday. Mgdesyan said he plans to question her about statements about the shooting that he said are inconsistent, and he said he'll call several of his own witnesses. He said he does not yet know if Jenner will be among them. I have to speak to her lawyer. Both Kylie and the other witness that everybody's interested in, I have to make sure by speaking to their lawyer, Mgdesyan said. The other witness appears to be Corey Gamble, fiancé of Kris Jenner, who is Kylie Jenner's mother. Mgdesyan said he understands why nobody wants to be a part of this. You've two celebrities on both sides, and nobody wants to testify on one side and make enemies in Rock Nation, he said. I get it. But we've got to do what we've got to do. Because the way it's being portrayed is not truly what happened. He does not know if Lanez will testify but said, if I was a betting man, I'd say he's probably going to. He wants to give his side of what happened, but we want to see how trial's going, obviously, before we make that decision, Mgdesyan said. Mgdesyan and his associate attorney, Sarkis Manukya, selected a jury last week with Los Angeles County Deputy District Attorneys Alexander Bott and Kathy Ta. Lanez attended court each day with two security guards, with his father joining him on December 6. His courthouse presence has drew a few fans, with a court officer asking one of his guards to go out into the hallway because people were trying to photograph Lanez in violation of Los Angeles County Superior Court's prohibition on photography in the courthouse. Lanez is not currently in jail. He was released on bond the day of his arrest, then handcuffed in court in April after a judge ruled he violated a protective order by mentioning Meghan on social media. He again left jail on bond but was ordered into home confinement and electronic monitoring on October 26 for allegedly violating his release conditions by assaulting singer August Alsina in Chicago. Judge Hereford recently lifted the confinement to allow him to prepare for trial. Tahan Bott had opposed Lanez's house arrest being rescinded for trial, with Ta telling Hereford on December 5 they're concerned about the safety of witnesses and the general public. Ta also said Lanez has threatened and tried to bribe a witness, as Lanez shook his head in disagreement. Mgdesyan said the allegation isn't true, pointing to a claim that Lanez's attempted bribe related to him being on probation, which he in fact is not. Hereford went against prosecutors and lifted Lanez's home confinement, saying I'm doing this mainly for the trial preparation aspect. 4 alternate jurors were impaneled on December 8, along with the 12 regular jurors. One of the alternates is a lawyer who has worked both as a prosecutor and as a criminal defense attorney. Among those excused from the jury pool were a woman who said, I already know who he is. I'm gonna say he's innocent. Another man was a defendant in a concurrent criminal trial, and another was a nurse who said he can't miss work and had his hand bandaged after a patient bit him the night before. Prosecutors also announced last week that a key witness, Los Angeles Police Detective Ryan Stunger, had been relieved of duty and they didn't intend to call him at trial. Mgdesyan told reporters after court he believes Stunger was fired amid allegations of domestic violence. Obviously, the district attorney's office refused to prosecute him, however, my understanding is the lab fired him, Mgdesyan said. Mgdesyan told Judge Hereford that Stunger is one, if not the most important, witness for the defense. This is a detective who I will argue has botched the investigation. He only chose to do certain things that were incriminating to my client, Stunger said. Hereford said Stunger has to be available if the defense wants to call him. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it, the judge said on December 7. For more videos stay connected with us and must subscribe.